I think I kind of sort of forgot to mention too that um those targeted attacks and stuff towards me personally, even from a younger generation, from an older generation, whoever. Um, I think I'm not think, but I'm trying to avoid those things happening, or by my kids being targeted as well, because I don't know how they would handle it or anything like that. Of course, as mom, I feel like it's for me to take on that stuff, but everything, I can't address, at their level or their peer age group or whatever. I can't really. I feel like I can't get in the midst of it or in the middle of it, but at the same time, I don't want my kids to be targeted because of me, and it's really not necessarily because of me, but it's again what I believe. Oh, what's his name? Which would be their uh, I have a hard time getting anything about patriarch or paternal or father or dad or anything out because God have spoken to me and let me otherwise regarding what comes out of my mouth. Um, um, but yeah, it would be their biological absent parent who left them open to those types of attacks and being targeted and things like that. And I even went back and I was reading some old emails and stuff from 2017, 18, 19, stuff like that, where I was saying the same stuff. You left me and my kids um, open to certain attacks and things like that. And so, it was just bothersome when it comes to that. But that's what I say. I think that's what I'm bothered by is like, okay, because y'all can't reach me, you can't bother me. I know the decisions I need to make. And I can tell and lead my kids on what to make too, but I don't want my kids to feel boxed in or anything. Not saying that they do. They do what I tell them to do. If I tell them don't go this direction, go this direction, they do. So they do well, but curiosity sometimes gets you and like, I wonder why mom don't want us to go. And they don't even have to wonder. That's one thing. So to God be all the glory for that while I'm even saying that. But, what would happen if, what would really truly happen if we did the opposite of what mom said or anything. And again, I'm not even putting it on my kids like they do that. They don't practice that. But people are their own individuals. So, you know, and then, what if something good was to come out of it? What if the opposite was to come out of, you know, exactly what I'm telling them not to do? So that's another thing. I just don't want to be advised in the wrong way, in error. But yeah, I mean, I just don't want things targeted at my kids for where people are already trying me with. Of course, I feel like little to no cause. I really feel like it's no cause, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, well, maybe you caught me at the on the wrong day at the wrong time or whatever, something. I don't say nothing. I don't be trying to say nothing slick to nobody, but I definitely could have said something that's definitely like off-putting or whatever, and of course you took that all the way personal into heart, and I'm just being who I am, not trying to offend, but so yeah, praying about that. Now thinking about that. Just trusting God just to continue to cover me and my children. My son had a dream yesterday. He didn't write it down. I told him you need to start writing your dreams and stuff down. I jotted some of it down, but it was even tiresome for me because I'm like, that's not my dream. I don't know all the exact details. I know it the way you told me, but and I'm glad he shared it with me. But and I need you to not only be writing them down, but ask God for that interpretation and that understanding of what's really going on and stuff like that. Um, I ain't gonna fly. Get out of here, fly. But yeah, so that's it, and just still steady feeling like I need help. I want some help. I don't even want to say I need help because my help comes from the Lord, and I'm thankful. He hasn't really been just. I don't even want to say showing up. He just have remained. He has abided. been present and making his presence known. And so I'm just that right there is awesome. Um, and just not even just here. I mean, it is here, but not even just like outward, but inward on the inside of me and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. But it still would feel. I don't want to say better, but I still feel like I would feel a little better if I had somebody that was walking it out with me. And then I seen an interesting conversation this morning on a post on a thread, and I was so glad to see it because it's something that I've already been thinking about for years. Like, God designed our bodies, like even teenage boys or young men, young males, they hit puberty at a certain time. Girls hit puberty at a certain time, and it's really in our teenage years and stuff like that. Sometimes it could be preteens, but definitely our teenage years. And that's the time when you fertile, and God said for us to be fruitful and multiply. But of course, according to um married, we're supposed to be married and not having kids out of wedlock and this and the third. It's like, and then of course what society tries to impose on you. It's like, what's the truth, or where are the fine lines at? What are we really supposed to be doing? How are we supposed to be doing this thing? Because of course, as you age, your egg count and stuff gets less and less. Somebody broke it down, and it's like somebody said 300K eggs you be having still by like in your 20s or 30s or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's more than enough to definitely be able to reproduce. But so that right there shouldn't really be a major concern. But of course, menopause does happen. So I think they said by the time you get ready to hit menopause or whatever, your 50s to menopause, like 80, you have 80K. And like that's still more than enough to be able to reproduce and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess I'm thinking about stuff like that as well. How the yeah, it's considered scientific, but it's still to me just God knows all the details as far as how the sperm and the egg travel to one another. And then I seen something that bothered me yesterday where I guess a man was telling some girl, go ahead and get rid of that baby and stuff like that. And even though, it wasn't said like that to me. Well, it wasn't said like that to me, but if I say what was said, like go ahead and sacrifice him, but they didn't say it in a bad tone or anything. They tried to dress it up like go ahead and give him back to God. Um, that stuff just bothers me. How a man can just outright just do that. He had sex with you, this, that, and the third, and you should know as well as anybody else. It's a potential to get pregnant. Um, and then when it happens, you try to immediately run from it. Now, who his situation is, or whether he was married or whatever was going on, but he told her to kill that baby and stuff like that. And he didn't want nothing to do with her. Like, it's just so upsetting. Because that to me, of course, that's the opposite of what God told us to do. You telling her to kill a child, but that's the opposite of what God